Just a moment. Okay, I'm back. I've let my community of people know what's up. Let me set up my tripod here. There we go. And I'm not turning that light up any brighter. I know. It's dark. It's not pleasant to look at. You can't really see my lovely, beautiful face. But I need to start practicing for the winter. Hey, James, what's up? You're picking your fantasy league, Alec? That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Guys, my voice is fucking shot. I got a mic, so I don't have to project quite so much, so I don't spend quite so much of the day yelling, but my voice is absolutely fucking shot. I'm not asking you to make me talk less. I'm saying, please don't fucking talk about it. I know I sound like I've been gargling dick all day. I know. I know my voice is cracking up into that. I know. It hurts like a motherfucker. I got a hole. I got a hole in the front right of my throat. And it is just, it's swollen and it aches. Hey, Greenie. While you got the kids to sleep? Zoinks! What's up, guys? It's good to see you again. I spent the time since you last heard from me. I walked down to Hobby Lobby and I bought all the colored 1mm macrame cord they had. And all of the brown, all the different shades of brown they had. And some driftwood. So I'm gonna make some stuff. I left just seconds ago, Greenie. I left literally just to go live here. Hey, Zoinks, how you doing, man? Yeah, I know. I know that you stepped away to do the grocery order. I literally stepped away from book club seconds ago. I'm only there to listen. I don't have time to read it. I just don't have time to read it. It's gonna take me probably through the winter to get through the collector. If you guys do the collector as a book club, I would really like to um, I'll participate in that. Maybe, but these are maybes. I am busy. I am a lot busier than I realized, and my day has been good. Zoinks! It's been very stressful. Um, it's been very stressful. We're still going through some format change friction. I need to get into this blanket real quick. I gotta get into my sleeping bag. And this is embarrassing. This is how it's done. Okay. I spent about $50 on macrame supplies today. Oh. And I had to turn off the chat this morning because they were upsetting me in a way that they couldn't understand, so I just had to turn it off for about an hour. But we've been to the moon many times. I went and I bought macrame rope to invest in what I've been telling you I was going to do. I've been saying it since the day I became homeless. The way this was going to grow is people were going to believe in me. I was going to go live. I was going to sit here and talk to you. We were going to bullshit around the fountain. I was going to get bored and agitated and feel like I needed to do something. And that we're at that spot. So we're in that spot where I'm starting to get bored and agitated. When I get bored and agitated, I get uncommunicative. Greenie might know what I'm talking about when I say I get nonverbal. Okay, that's hi King Cloud. I hope you're doing well. Um, but I spent a whole shitload of money. I spent a lot more money than I. That's not true. I had it. I had it. I spent $50 on macrame stuff. I had it. I had it in my personal, just the hey, have a good day. I saved up. Um, $130 on PayPal. When people ask me, "Are you in need?" and I go, "No, I'm not in need," it's because I've been poor a long time, so I'm a lot thriftier than you realize or than you appreciate, and I'm a lot cleverer, maybe, than you're able to contextualize or conceive, because maybe you just don't know anybody as clever as I am. I'm gonna probably destroy this. Shit. Yeah, see, and then you guys give me so many suggestions, and you just can't understand that I don't like rejecting your suggestions, but my pathological demand avoidance, every suggestion you make is the only thing I'm not going to do. So you're just taking away my options, and you don't know it. But every time you guys make a suggestion to me, you're just taking away my options. And somebody today told me, I'm working on it, Alec. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it as soon. I'm gonna buy that laptop as soon as probably Monday, but as soon as next Friday. And then we're gonna go through, and everybody's gonna be mad at me for a little while, but I got a bunch of blue wrenches that gotta go away, because a lot of people didn't understand that when I gotta turn my light off to replace the batteries. A lot of people didn't understand and appreciate. I'll do my best to, I don't know that I'll be able to watch it because it won't be on local, but I plan to pick a compelling radio game. So, a compelling radio game. The Rams are always compelling, and their radio team is Daniel Jeremiah and Matt Money Smith. Or it used to be Matt Money Smith. And so that's a good radio team. So I would be down to listen to the Rams with you if you'd be okay with me listening to it. You understand that I prefer to listen to the game. But that's what happened today, is they were giving me a lot of suggestions, and they were overwhelming me with they're just not understanding that when you give me a suggestion, it's taking away my options. And thank you, Alec, for the $10. That's something I'm going to have to get used to. The money at the hello instead of the money at the goodbye. I'm going to have to get used to that. Okay, turn on the light. Nobody ruined anything. Nobody ruined anything. I was hungry, and I am depressed. I'm in the middle of a bout with depression, and I was fighting through it to come in here and hang out with you guys, and I overstretched myself. Nobody ruined anything. The fountain is going through changes, and not everybody adapts to change at the same rate or in the same way. Some people adapt to change by pretending it's not happening, and it's my responsibility to make it work, and so that's what we're gonna do. Hey Madge, what's up, buddy? I didn't expect to see you tonight. It's my responsibility to make it work. I have lost my cigarettes. Of all of the things, okay. Of all the things I did today, you guys, those of you who are concerned about my consumption and concerned that I'm an addict, of all the money I spent today, all the things, I also went to Chipotle, and I don't like Chipotle. I said about a week ago, maybe longer, that Chipotle is too brown, but it's too brown. I didn't like it. It wasn't good. Hey, thanks, Rach. You guys and your silly... I say silly because it's happening to me, but you and your lovely competition. Hey, man, it's all good, Lonk. I'm not sorry it's you guys. Yes, I will order it tomorrow. It will probably be here on Monday or Tuesday. I will just commit to doing that. Okay? Look, I'll even give you a tent tour. I changed the interior of my tent around a little bit. I got a new container for my macrame supplies. This has all my macrame supplies in it. I turned this 90 degrees, so now I've got a little shelf that this is where my phone has been standing. That looks the way it did, but this is all scooched over. So now I am actually a lot more comfortable. I've actually, because I went, sorry. Hey, thank you, James. Thank all of you. AM FM radio? No, I don't have a radio. I wouldn't use it. I might have used it tonight, actually, but no, I wouldn't use it. But yeah. You guys are insane. Stop. 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 That's $100 day. I have the money now. I have the money now. Okay. 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 You guys are gonna make me cry. Stop. Stop. I don't know King Cloud. I haven't listened to the radio in so long. All this and more for just $19.99. Thank you, Madge. Uh, I love you too, James. You know what, Wally? I was thinking about you just last night because I hadn't seen you in a while, and I hoped I hadn't chased you away by calling you Wally. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna do an extremely truncated review of The Conjuring Last Rites. It's an extremely long movie. Everybody else in the theater got up as soon as the movie concluded. As soon as we knew that the exorcist was gone, everybody got up and got the fuck out before the epilogue. I stayed until the credits were over. The director and writer of the Conjuring movies is a man after my own heart. I would like to meet him. I would like to smoke him out. I would like to pay for the weed to smoke him out. And I would just like to talk to him about the Perrons and the Warrens. It's not supposed to be scary. It wasn't scary to me, but I've studied the Warrens and their literature. I read their book. I've read their autographs. I've followed other people who followed their careers intimately. I knew about this story going in. Love you, Rach. Sleep well. You guys are so silly. Yeah. What I will say, I didn't watch the second or the third Conjuring movies. I watched The Nun. I watched the first Conjuring. The first Conjuring movie scared the actual dog shit out of me. That movie scared me shitless. But Patrick Wilson is one of my favorite actors. And so I was just willing to go there. I'm a different kind of person. That was also very early. I mean, that was 10 years ago. That was early. Hello, Hector. That was early in my movie watching. He's a good director. So I don't think smoke is bad. Don't do it. I don't think this movie was scary because I have been engaged in exorcism and ghost literature for 30 years. I know the literature. So the tropes don't scare me like they do other people. And I've read the first book, House of Dark, House of Light. I did a reading companion for it. I did a commentary where I did page number, line, and then commentary with it. I wrote a companion piece for the first one, and I started to write a companion piece for the second one. Take care, Wally. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for caring about the review. This is less a review than my story with this family or the Warrens. And Angela Perron's book deeply negatively affected me. It deeply negatively affected me, and it deeply negatively affected the way that I see these stories. And so I bounced from the first book, House of Dark, House of Light, and I started reading the Warrens' biographies, and I read their book. Whatever. I don't actually know if I read their book, if they published a book, but I read a bunch of their biographies. They mentioned their book in the movie, is why I'm saying that. I read a bunch of their biographies, and I watched a bunch of documentaries about them, and I tried to listen to them talk, and I had already was familiar with them from the scientific skeptic movement, the Skeptic's Guide to the Galaxy. They formed the New England Skeptic Society or something like that. They formed in the first place. Yeah, there's a rabbit outside, King Cloud. TAPS, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, maybe, or the Skeptical Society, whatever they called themselves. They, I think it's NES, New England Skeptical Society. They formed around the Warrens. They formed to protest the Warrens being involved in the Amityville case. The Amityville case was the case immediately after the Perrons. The Perrons claim, the Perron family, we do love Kenny. The Perron family claims that they were the Warrens' first notable case. This last right talks about their first notable case and how it came back to haunt them later in their careers. The Perron family, specifically Angela and Carolyn, in House of Dark, House of Light, they claim that the Bathsheba witch that's in that first movie, that's depicted in that first movie, continued to haunt the Perron family. In one of their biographies, the Perron family was omitted, and when this book was re-released, the biography was re-released for the promo coming up to the first Conjuring movie. Andrea got really upset and published their memoirs, their book. They self-published. Yes, House of Dark, House of Light is the book that The Conjuring, the first movie, is based on. Well, in this documentary called The Exorcist or something like that, not documentary, authorized biography by an actual journalist who went and lived with them for a month or whatever, did the whole investigative journalism thing in the 80s with the parents. In that book, they keep hinting at how the Warrens keep hinting to him that there's a story they're not allowed to talk about that was deeply fucked up and deeply changed their lives and their opinions about the mental health aspects of exorcisms. Okay? House of Dark, House of Light changed my opinion about the mental health aspect of exorcisms. And so then I began to research exorcists. And so if you're familiar with the movies, actually, the Russell Crowe played the guy that I'm about to talk about in a movie recently. I don't know, Calvin, whether it stuck on pending or not. I thought I remembered, I think I remember you telling me that you tried and it didn't work, but that's all, that's as much of it as I've seen. It doesn't, they eventually fade away from the bottom of the screen, and it doesn't actually tell me in my revenue where the individual tips come from. I'm sorry that I can't help with that more. Maybe if I had a laptop, and I should have a laptop by Monday. I'll work on that tomorrow. I have the money. And so, Father, I would try to remember his name, Gabriele Amorth, Amorth, Gabriele, Gabriele. He's Italian. Gabriele Amorth. I've read all of his books. He's died now, but I read all of his books. He was the exorcist of the Pope. I think he has a book called The Pope's Exorcist, but he definitely has a book called The Devil is Afraid of Me. And the first thing, whenever you get an exorcism, this movie didn't go into it, but it hinted at it. This movie's very long. Last Rite is very long. It feels like it. Um, I should have a Monday. I should by Monday, definitely by Tuesday. I can get it one day delivered. Um, so definitely by Tuesday. Um, the Catholic procedure, the movie is set in 1986, and that's important. The 1986 connection is important, but I'm not going to talk about it. You just have to trust me that I have personal researches tied up in all this stuff that I'm doing too. But some of the stuff I'm asking for is money to go do fun stuff to generate income, but I'm also doing important research on my own, important for the human species that I can't talk about. I'm not like KJ. I can't talk about my researches the way he can talk about his work. Um, Okay, Madge, I think you're crazy, but if that's what you're gonna do, man, um, the Catholic Church sends you to a psychologist, and they get you evaluated for psychopathy, just psychopathology. They get you evaluated for mental health, because demonic possession can be an attention-seeking behavior among Catholics. The gift, Weekend Jake, was from Rach, R-A-C-H. Go to my Patreon, Cool Beans. I've left research notes all over my Patreon. That's what it's for. No, I'm not gonna play the game tonight. I'm too tired. I'm not gonna play tonight. I didn't even come on here to make money. I just Rach did go to bed weekend, but I'll let her know and you'll see her around. Um, Rach, Weekend Jake says thank you for the member. Um, to make you go and see a psychologist. The Exorcist. If you've seen the movie The Exorcist, they go into it a little bit. But Father Gabriele Amorth was also a trained psychologist, and so he was very careful in his writings and in his research. He was very careful to distinguish between obvious demonic invasion and serious mental health. Serious, very serious mental health. And this movie does a really brilliant job of demonstrating early that this family has mental health problems, but nobody has the kind of mental health problems that could make glass manifest inside your body. And that's something that demons frequently do. Um, and so this movie was more of a case study than it was a horror movie. In fact, they shot it at times like a documentary. It was more like a day in the life. It was a biopic about the Warrens more than it was a horror movie. It was a biopic. Yes. The and so they didn't talk about it, but until the very end. They didn't show it until the very end. Hey, thank you for the gifts. I'm glad to see that they work. That's actually really cool. Do I have to touch it or something? No, it just makes send a mystery gift. What happens when I touch it? Nothing. Thank you. That was cool. Um, Warren developed this system that demons go through, and he developed it uh, at the same time as Father Gabriele Amorth, but Gabriele Amorth and Ed Warren didn't get along. They didn't get along well at all. But they both had the same mentor. I can't remember his name. It's like Father Poe or something like that. I haven't gone back to him yet. That was 100 years ago. I haven't gone back and read his work because it's expensive, and I gotta have somebody else fund it, or I gotta be able to justify it by selling enough of my macrame and T-shirts and shit like that to be able to buy these books. Thank you for the gift. Um, Every two of those gifts gives me a penny. So please be liberal. And they're cute. They make me smile. Thank you, Cool Beans. Um, because this is a heavy subject. Um, Everything that happens in this movie, nothing that happens in this movie is outside the possible. For everything that I've read, everything that I've read. And so he has this three-step that's really the only thing I want to talk about, and we can move off of this if you want. But Warren developed this three-step. They go through this three-step process that Gabrielle and Morth also developed and talked about. Oh, okay. Well, if those were different, those were different. If that cost you $10, I probably got $10 from it, Cool Beans, or something. I'm not sure. Uh, I didn't mean to undervalue what you were saying. I was saying thank you. Um, I was saying thank you very much. The name of the movie I'm talking about is The Conjuring, The Last Rite. Um, so it's deeply unsettling. No, you're not interrupting. Like I said, I appreciate this because this is deeply stressful for me to talk about. Um, yeah, I'll have to look into it. Yeah, heard that. Castle, my friend, Castle of Wisdom says, "May your thoughts be as deep as the wells of Eridu, as your words are as sharp as the reed stylus of Nabu." Thank you. That's a huge compliment. Um, but I want to. All I'm trying really to say is I want to have a conversation with the man who made this movie. I would really love to have a deep, deep conversation with him because he knows something I don't. Because there's a story MacGuffin that I need to know if it's made up, if it's a MacGuffin that he made up or not, in order to talk any further about this subject. And this is what my channel's about, Heisenberg. Um, because everything that happens in this story could have happened. And I've never heard anybody talk about um, what ended the Warrens' career, but that's what this movie claims. But the thing that I found the most interesting is that the Warren mother left us around COVID, around 2020. The Warren mother. So Ed and Lorraine. Lorraine left us around 2020, and Ed left us recently, like 2017, like very recently. Maybe it was '07, but recently. Within the last couple of decades, we lost these two people. And her whole life, while all this was going on, her whole life, the Warren daughter has insisted that she is separate from their work and has never experienced anything. But she has to have signed off her rights to this character because they showed her baby pictures in the credits. And so I'm wondering if she's not allowing herself to be fictionalized for the movie franchise. Fine, that happens all the time. She said that multiple times, that the child her in the first movie has nothing to do with her, that she was never around the museum, and that she has no particular connection to Annabelle. Fine. But now I'm wondering. Now I'm just conspiratorial enough that I'd like to have a conversation with her, and a private conversation, not for the show, Not for the show, just a private conversation. I'm not trained. I'm not really trained, but I'm trained as an oral historian, and so I would just like to know, and then I would like to know what she would let me put on the record. What's up, Chicago? How you doing, man? And so that's kind of all I want to talk about. But the mental health of it all, the mental health of demonic possession or of ghost infestation. I'm just trying to remember what the 3 steps are. It's oppression and possession. So basically, the way it works, maybe it's oppression, isolation, and possession, because basically the way it works is they target people who may or may not have mental health issues, and then they get those people to isolate, and then they possess them to use those people to hurt other people. Yeah, the trolls are doing their best, but some days it works, some days it doesn't work, man. Some days they're hit or miss. I remember seeing you around, Gamer Wolf, man. I don't remember us having a conversation or anything meaningful of that nature, but you know, welcome back. Oh, but it is interesting to me that they chose this as a summer movie, probably because it's an epic rather than a winter movie, you know, a Halloween movie. And I do kind of want to stop talking about it. I am spooking myself out, and I am stoned. So what I don't want to do is invite like a hand to reach through the tent and hurt me. But they did a really good job. They did a really good job of showing the line between mental health and demonic oppression. I could be a lot more stoned. I've been trying not to smoke all day. That was what I was going to say in the opening. For those of you who are worried about my consumption or my addiction, you can take some comfort in knowing that with all the money I was spending and as stressed out as I was, I didn't think to buy cigarettes or weed today. So, here we are. And that's my unofficial review. Sort of. Abs, sort of. There's medical for the real stuff, but I'm smoking synthetic, which is legal. Yeah. The synthetic stuff is legal. It's actually Delta 8. I think Delta 9 is the good stuff. Yeah, ritual cleanse is not my favorite thing. I wouldn't recommend it because, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. The supernatural isn't fun. It's not funny. So this movie, it did a lot of really interesting shot-for-shot remakes of the first one. It was almost like I would really like to see a director's cut of Last Rite. I would watch the 4.5 hour version because there were a few repeat MacGuffins items that people were carrying. A few items that people carried that were like right in the center of the frame, and they wanted you to know they were carrying this item that never reappeared. And so that obviously hit the editing room floor. So I would love to see what this movie was before they realized that their actors were too good to shoot it in 2.5 hours. Patrick Wilson is a tour de force. I love that guy, but he brought that character to life in a real way. The daughter was amazing. Everybody was good. The casting was so good. I didn't look at who the casting director was, but it was a good movie. But my connection to that franchise is different than yours. So you might walk out of it going, God damn, that was 3 hours and I wasn't really scared. It's just really good. It's a the spooky shit that happens is spooky and weird, and then when they go and do the cliche, oh, this is what's happening, the reveal, even Warren is like, yeah, but we got to move past that. That's the least interesting thing that's happening right now. And so there are a lot of people that are going to see that moment in the movie and they're going to feel let down, like, oh, that wasn't as fun as it is in all of these movies. But this isn't a Ghostbuster movie, and they make that joke early in the movie, very early in the movie. This isn't about busting a ghost. This is about something significantly more dangerous than a ghost. And it's left me unsettled, but engaging with this material leaves me unsettled because I'm next to it. I put myself very close to this stuff. Hey Alfonso, what's up, bud? How you doing? Thank you guys for all those emojis. I know we're not doing a lot of traffic and I hadn't planned to do that. That's all I really want to talk about it. If I compulsively keep talking about it, it's because it's on my mind, but I didn't even mean to do 36 minutes on it. I could talk about that for 3 hours. I could just sit and talk about the movie I just watched, that The Last Rite. I could sit and talk about that for another 3 hours. But you wouldn't care about any of it. Conjuring Last Rite, yeah, Alfonso. Yeah. Yeah, I watched The Last Rite yesterday. Um, Thank you for using your context clues to ask that. That's that, Alfonso. You don't even have to do the just jumped in or the just asking. Using the context clues. Are you talking about The Conjuring or are you talking about something else and you just mentioned The Conjuring? That, for the future audience, is exactly how I would like you guys to speak to me. That's exactly how I would like you to speak to me. You went and saw it, Alfonso? Did you like it? Your thing just bugged out? Yeah, Madge. Weird shit happens. Weird shit happens. Even like how you can see the light moving. That's not happening from my perspective. The way that's flickering like that, it doesn't flicker like that from mine. It kind of hurts my eyes. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Yeah, Rachel, I don't know if you heard me talking about it. I don't want to do that. Um, I will be mentally unwell by the end of that conversation, Rachel. I'm mentally unwell just having watched that movie. I don't know, OPM. I don't know the schedule, man. I like to go into this stuff blind. I'm just a different kind of guy. I don't know. I think I'm gonna listen to the Rams game with Alec tomorrow. Take care, Cool Beans. Thank you for all the gifts. I do really appreciate those. Those put a big smile on my face. This is a tough subject matter for me to get. You have nothing to be sorry for, Rachel. That's why I said I don't know if you know this, but I needed to say everything that I just said to you. This subject matter deeply negatively affects me. Deeply negatively affects me. Um, So I don't want to break that movie apart for 3 hours because you guys won't understand what I'm talking about. And so what I don't want to do is try to explain to you the nitty gritty of the difference in a ghost and a demon. Um, but it was cool how you could tell that was the last of the. I already have it, Alec. I already have the NFL sub, big guy. Already got it. That's why I said I can just listen to the game. I can just listen. I know I can listen on the radio. That's okay, Match. I understand too much. And so like There's a scene where one of the characters is surrounded by mirrors, and she starts to freak out. And then the typical horror movie thing happens in there, and then she starts to freak out, and somebody lets her out of the room, and they're like, "Oh, you're just having anxiety for the legitimate reasons in your life." And it's like the line between seeing a man who's about 8 feet or 10 feet tall on the other side of a creek from you, standing behind some trees that are barren because it's the middle of the winter and it's the full moon out, so you can see him like it's bright daylight, and he's got great big fucking antlers on his head. The line between that and just being desperately alone because you've spent 6 months living in a tent by yourself doesn't exist. There is no line between having a supernatural experience and being mentally unwell. There's no line. There's no place where you can say you can. There's no hair to dissect. That's the hair that's been removed to the point of being a singular atom. Yeah, Madge. The intuition and as a connection to the supernatural is why I do these researches. And I'm not the only person that said this. This is what parapsychologists say, and this is what William James wrote to the Scottish School of Philosophers in like 1907 or something like that, and the varieties of religious experience. But that's what the oppression stage is. The oppression stage is using your brain's, we would call it faulty wiring, but your brain's predilection toward delusion and pattern recognition against you. Like, that's what the oppression stage is. So I thought, as movies go, it was as scientifically accurate as you can be in the Catholic worldview to what a demon is, to what this stuff that's happening to these people is. It was perfect, and it didn't show it. And Barry, you're not going to like the answer to this, but Barry asked me what my views on Lucifer are, and Lucifer is Darius the Second, man. What view is there to have? He lost his empire to Alexander the Great. Either that or he's Cyrus the Great, who lost his empire to Darius. He's one of those two. I don't remember which book his prophecy is in, but he's Lucifer as a character of the Morning Star is only mentioned one time in the Bible in one prophecy, and that prophecy is regarding one of the kings of Babylon who was alive at the time of composition. Actually, who was live at the time the composition claims to be writing from, but at time of composition he was probably long dead, so it's probably less a prediction than a retrodiction. This will happen because it did happen. Am I right? Did you dislike my answer? Fantastic. You liked my answer. There is no rebellious angel named Lucifer. There was a rebellious angel named Azazel, but his name is not Lucifer, and his name doesn't mean the morning star. I don't know what Azaz means. But I don't know why an atlatl is called an atlatl. I don't know why it repeats the syllable twice. Does it mean throw? I don't know. What's an addle? I don't know. What's an az in Hebrew? Fuck if I know. I don't even think that Enoch was written in Hebrew. I'm pretty sure it was written in Arabic. Or not Arabic, Aramaic. I don't know. I'm not a scholar. I just read this stuff and I try to listen to the scholars and I try to understand what they agree on, so I can say whether I agree with what they agree on. And then I try to listen to what they disagree. Because if they disagree, then I'm allowed to have a third opinion, a totally separate opinion from theirs. If they disagree, if the experts disagree, I'm allowed to form an opinion, so long as it's within the realms of reason, so long as it can make sense, so long as it can answer the question in the same with the same way or better, fewer steps, for sure. Well, I just engaged with the Bible, man. I wouldn't say reading it front to back is good for your health. It's not. It's not good for your health. What I would do is what I do is I listen to people talk about the Bible and then I just go read the section they were talking about for myself. Leviticus is one of those books that's harmful if you read it and you don't understand what you're reading. Yeah, Castle. He says he chooses to listen to me over the Old Testament Leviticus. Yeah, you're studying it intensely in a different way than I am. Abs. He says he's just finished in the Old Testament. Um, he's a lot closer to it linguistically than what I am, first of all. And second of all, he is reading it carefully, front to back. I engage with it differently than that. I pick up each of the books in the Bible except for Torah as a separate book. Torah is as a 5-part book that's and this is important. Not everybody understands this. Torah is an instruction manual for young priests, because Torah was composed in a time when the Levites weren't trusted to do the religion properly anymore. So Torah isn't for us. You understand? It's for the priests in the century that it was composed. That would be like, frankly, it would be like going and reading any collection of textbooks designed to educate biologists 100 years ago. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're just reading it straight. You need to read it for the context of what they knew, what they were doing with the book, how they understood the book. But more specifically, you need to understand why the authors wrote it in the way they did. Understanding why they wrote it in the way they did, and understanding who the people that they were reading it to, that's more important than the books themselves. The books themselves are very dangerous. The Old Testament is full of repetition because it was sung, it was repeated, it was memorized. So it needed to repeat itself, like songs need to repeat themselves. Sure, Madge. Yeah, it's not a book, it was oral. That's the other thing, is like, they repeat themselves because they were memorized. And so one of the things that we know about Torah specifically is that it's undergone a lot of redaction. Canned tuna is fine. I have a pouch of tuna in here. I prefer the pouches to the cans just because you can't cut yourself on a pouch without really working at it. Like, you got to make a real stupid mistake to give yourself a paper cut with these fake aluminum pouches. I love hearing the shrews eat around me. They're so bossy, but they're eating. You just got to do something real stupid when you're pulling that tab. They are addicting and delicious. Tuna is really, really good for you. The omega-3 fatty acids in tuna and salmon are life-giving. Yeah, it was redacted. It was changed from oral to written to remove a lot of that repetition. Mental health in a can is actually not wrong, King. That's why you've been seeing me eat so much tuna. Many changes from oral to written, but once it was written down, it didn't change at all. The claim that many people, especially in your region of the world, Castle, will make is that the written that the transmission from oral to written was also perfect, and that the oral remained unchanged for countless eons, but that's just impossible. That's been demonstrated to be impossible. The oral is very good, but it's not word for word for 1,000 years. It's not that good. Poets aren't that dedicated. They want to leave their mark on history. Like, we're not still singing the same songs that we sang 1,000 years ago, but we're still singing about the same subject matter. We're still using a lot of the same cadence, and we're still using all the same chords we've ever used, but we're not singing the same exact words. You're allowed to get excited about the things that I like, Abs, or the things that I eat without being my dad. Thank you for letting me talk about this, guys. I know that it chases away the big views and that you guys want to see it hit more than 40. You really like it when it's up in the 70, up in the 80. But I do like these intimate conversations where you guys can go out and then you can tell people what they didn't hear or that they need to just watch. We got to watch this one, right? That's what the comment section is for. But yeah, I don't do these at night because I try to fill my day with them and I exhaust myself. And so then I just want to play a video game and relax. But I think I might transition to doing it the opposite way. Um, I have to talk to my producer, Mr. S, but I might do it the opposite way, and I might fill my day with video games so that he doesn't have to worry about catching it live, because he used to watch my video game videos. So I have the material to make that happen. I can work on that now, and then I'll have a laptop in like 3 days. So thank you guys for working with me this week. This has been a difficult week for you guys. It's been a difficult week for you guys, and I appreciate that the 15 people, the 15 subscribers that I've lost aren't anybody that I seem to recognize. So that's a big deal. Hey King Cloud, what's your new PFP? I can't see it. It looks like Jesus in crosshairs. Somebody really liked that. I forget that you guys. Hey Tammy, what's up? This is the right move. Opening the day. Okay, so I'm just gonna commit to it now. I'm gonna open the day in the voice chat for an hour, and then I'm gonna go live for an hour or two, and then we're just gonna play video games for the rest of the day. I'm just gonna shoot the shit, super low impact, and then we'll come back and we'll do something high impact like this for my international audience and my sleepers that want to go to bed. I'm going to commit to that. I got to talk to Mr. S about whether that will begin at 8 and end at 10, and then we'll play video games till 10 to midnight. I got it. Scheduling, I'll figure out. But thanks. Thanks for the positive feedback, Match. And then with football, I'm going to be doing more of these prepared videos where I sit and I just freeform for 20 minutes or an hour or whatever. And those are going to cut into my streams. They're going to fuck up my upload. So for those, I'm going to want to be in Panera on the Wi-Fi. So we'll get this down through the winter. We'll get it figured out, because once it gets cold, I'm not going to want to spend as much time in here, or I'm just going to be wearing a bunch of heavy clothes and you guys are going to be like, are you cold? Why are you so cold? Well, it's snowing outside and I'm sitting in a fucking tent like a dumbass. Which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to having my little fingerless gloves and frozen hands trying to tie knots outside, because I finally afforded the stupid coat rack and the chair to be able to do it. I'm really looking forward to this winter. My battery's going to hate it, but I'll figure it out. Believe in the afterlife, get everything we never had in this life. Okay, no to the second part, but the afterlife is how people remember you when you're dead, monk. Your afterlife is how people remember you after you're dead. Hey, Tony, what's up? Oh, what's wrong, Abs? Skeeters? No. I have a peppermint oil and mint compound that I make for skeeters when I have a problem. You better fix your car, Tammy. I don't want any of you driving around in anything less than safe. Especially after talking about demons all night. I don't want you guys driving around in any souls, yeah, for sure. I don't want you driving around in anything less than safe. Understood, Tony. You can't do the peppermint oil. I think I don't think I'm allergic to it. Well, I wish I still had your lack of fear, Tammy. Yeah, meant for sure with spiders. I think we're talking about spiders. We said skeeters. I don't actually know what a skeeter is. I assume we're talking about spiders. Oh, mosquitoes. No, it's too cold for mosquitoes, bro. I haven't seen a mosquito in weeks. And I have a lemon tree oil compound for mosquitoes. You guys dumping so much money on me at the beginning of the show. I get it. I said that, oh, well, somebody gave me money, so this lubricates me to talk about that thing. And so it fucking worked. Alec, you son of a bitch. You and your fucking ninja of reverse psychologying me. I didn't have anything I wanted to talk about. Then you guys threw a bunch of money at me, and you did get me. You got me. I said it over and over and over. If you give me the money, yeah. You got me. You got me. To talk for an hour about something I said I don't want to talk about because I kept looking up there and seeing that money. I'll just talk. Hey, KJ. Sorry I called you a son of a bitch. I just felt real stupid there. I walked right into it. I walked into a fucking clothesline for a second there. Too busy looking at my own feet. No, I'm not allowed to fish where I'm at, and the water's not safe enough to eat the fish if I could. You guys teach me. I swear to God, you guys teach me as much as I don't believe I teach you anything, but I swear to God, the power of commission. You teach me so much every day. The water in Ohio is not safe to drink, Tony. I would not drink the water in Ohio. Just ground or pond or river water? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I live within an hour of an atomic plant. Absolutely not. Now, the water is running toward that atomic plant, but just no way. No way. That Palestine, Ohio train wreck was like a half hour to an hour away from my house. That water affected our house. No way. Yeah. You wouldn't swim in the harbor at Baltimore? Yeah. You guys, the book club was really killing it. I really had a I don't often um I should talk to you guys about this. I don't often like to sit and do nothing, but I was able to just sit and listen to you guys and meditate and just kind of relax in a way that I haven't been able to do with a podcast in 5 years since COVID. So that was a really awesome. Just get to sit in and just listen to my friends. I keep telling you guys, and I really mean it. I really like to eavesdrop. Sometimes I'll drop in and drop a line that nobody gets. Could develop a superpower. Hydro plant, Tony. Heard that. Yeah. This is what you guys want from me. And in the first part of the day, especially while you're at work, I get impatient with seeing it. And that's on me. That's entirely on me. Um, so I need to busy my hands. So I've got macrame supplies. I've got video games. I'll have a laptop. We'll figure out the blue crew because the guy that could arbitrarily mute my friends that will be gone. So we won't have any of that anymore. Stuff's bad in Ohio. Yeah, what you guys want is for me to be happy and for me to follow my passions. And sometimes that does mean that I'm going to read for 5 days in a row, and you're going to get used to me doing that. And then I'm going to go, I'm exhausted and I can't do that. And then you're never going to hear from that again for 6 months or whatever. But I feel like I was pretty explicit that I only read. I only feel like I really need to read when I am just not good. When I am not well. And I know I'm not well. Starting to get the whole setup in place. Yeah, Match. Almost. I'm almost there, man. I'm going to get a Surface. I'm going to get a Surface 7, Tony. I only need 4 megabytes and an i5. So I'm going to, no, I only need 8 megabytes and an i5. So I'm going to get an i7 and 16 gigs. Did I say 4 megabytes? 4 gigs of RAM. I only need 4 gigs of RAM and an i5 processor. So I'm going to get an i7 processor and 16 gigs of RAM. And that should be more than plenty. And it's going to cost me $588 and change after tax. But I should have it. I hear you, Tammy. I hear you. I don't need to vent, but I hear you. That's what my shorts are for. When I just need to vent, that's what my shorts are for. HP 2000, that's funny, Tony. Your computer or your laptop's been just straight up running for 8 years. That's funny. Yeah. Hey, if she still works, Tony, if she still works, I appreciate the offer, Tammy. I do. I don't know, Madge. You can sub to their page, but I don't know how you can get to their pages, whether you can do that from the chat. I don't know, man. Good processor, ThinkPad, insane battery, for sure. I want a Surface. One of my goals as a writer was to have a Surface, and I bought one, and I know I like it. I know I like it. So I'm just going to get what I know I like, and it's compact. They're very compact. And they do. HPs are good computers. And then when I get an apartment, I'm gonna get a Zydax. For me, I'm just particular about my product when it comes to tools. I grew up around engineers and machinists, and so I'm just particular about my thing. I like that you guys like your thing. I love that, but that's why we have so much diversity in the marketplace. Particular. Yeah. I'm not trying to be an ass. I just know that I like the Surface. I know that I like it and it's for what I want to do. Like I could animate. Like I could sit here talking to you guys and I can doodle on it and then I can share those doodles with you. For example, it's a machine that I know I can use and that I have a lot of familiarity with. I have a lot of familiarity with. My early videos were all done with a Surface 7. Um, Surface 6 maybe even. So it's a machine that I'm familiar with. Yeah, because I could talk to you with I could do exactly what I'm doing here, but I could have my Surface to fuck around on. Your grandpa worked at a steam plant for 50 years. My grandpa worked at the atomic plant here in Ohio. Yeah, you've only ever used Macs. Weekend Jake says he's only ever used Macs because they're good for music production. For sure. For sure. Yeah. The That's what everybody always tells me. Macs are just so expensive. And I hate the fucking UI. Been there since 1920, the engine at the plant. That's funny. Yeah. I get it in my head. I understand that you prefer Linux and Mac's interface is shit. Um, I just get certain items. I get certain products in my head. Surface is designed for what I want. It's designed for specifically what I want. So I want it. I want to support them making what I want. The old iMacs is what those were called, King Cloud, the colorful transparents with the one mouse button. I fucking hate those computers, but I'm glad you like it. And hello, Apollo. My night is going well. My voice is shot. I'm sure you can hear it, but my night is going well. The chill stream, the wind down, put me to sleep stream is doing its job. Yeah, everything was transparent. Show the guts of the machinery. We all wanted to see it in the 90s. That's right, Madge. Yeah, it's great that there's so many things, so many brands to have loyalty to. Intuition, absolutely, I believe in intuition, Tarantia. I mostly live by my intuition. You have a pinch? Where? Alienware, Calvin? They used to be the shit. They're Dell? One of the big, they sold out, but they're still a quality machine. They will still work, and their warranty, is always going to be good, and you know that they'll get it back to you. Clear red radio. I always like the clear purple N64 controller. Sorry to hear that, Magic Bacon here. The Lenovo ThinkPads are a really good computer. I agree, Apollo. I didn't see that, King Cloud. Somebody was criticizing me in Discord. I didn't see it. Yeah, Tony, the building, building it yourself now. That's why I want a Zydax. Zydax is they do what Alienware used to do, but they sponsor a YouTube group that I respect the fuck out of. Hey, Real Fiverr. If did I put it out on the Patreon tonight that I was going live? Yeah, they're cheaper to build than ever. 50 terabytes is too much, Tony. I'm sorry that somebody was mad at me, King Cloud. I kind of feel bad that I didn't see that they were so upset. You resolve the subjectiveness, Tammy, with critical thinking. I was kind of talking about it at the early part of this. You got to use your critical thinking. You got to be smart. An old Asus rig. Asus used to run consistent. And what I always liked about Asus is their warranty was always good, and they'd get you the machine back in a reasonable amount of time. A buffet stream, like me going to a buffet. I don't know where there's a buffet in town. Yeah, I would run out of that space, Tony. I'd find a way. Hey, Fiverr, I see you, bud. A buffet stream would pop off. I don't know. I don't know where a buffet in town even is. I wouldn't eat as much as you think. My stomach is very small. Sony is always good for their warranties. Yeah. Sony had to be good for their warranties when Xbox came out because Xbox warranties were such bullshit. I'm sure there is a buffet somewhere. I don't know where. I know you guys would watch, but you would be disappointed. I'd only eat one plate because I would start to hurt very, very, very quickly. For sure, Match. Yeah, you waited a whole year, Tony, to wait on the red ring. How are the bananas related, Tammy? I don't see how the bananas are related. And if you and I don't really well, I guess Vulcans are the engine, but do I think we're in a materialist world? Um, Materialism is a philosophy that was rejected 70 years ago. Yeah, an entire disk drive replaced in a week, Tony. Heard that. Hey, Marble. ADD took over. Yeah, Sony doesn't play. I see. I don't know how empathy connects, Tammy. Sure, I know about nihilism, Harry. What do you want to talk about? Materialism was rejected materialism was rejected in the 50s. Who made my tent? Ozark Trail. It depends on what you mean by stuff to last. You know about Gnosticism, yes. It depends on what you mean by make stuff to last. Recency and recency bias is a problem, yes. Your brain is a pattern seeking organ. Basically, nihilism is being atheist plus miserable. Sure, Tammy, but the you're not telling me what these you're okay. So, Tammy, the way patterns work is you have an incidence, you have a coincidence, and then you have a pattern. You have to have three things. And so whenever you're showing me these patterns, these things in threes, you're showing me a thing only loosely related to it, and then you're showing me a thing not at all related to it. You don't have a pattern. There's no pattern there. You have no intuition there. There's no pattern. Hey, Kathos. You should hear crickets, Chris. Or I can just buy a tarp for $1.25 at the dollar store, Tony. All that shit is too much work. It's the rule of threes. You have to have repeating sets. You don't have any repeating sets. It still depends on what you mean, Tony. Like what things were made to be repaired. Or were things made, did they break, and were there specialists available to repair them? If you say so, Tony, just don't go out in the rain. You don't get wet. I've gotten wet 0 times in my homelessness. It's been a year. It will be a year in 3 weeks from tomorrow, from Monday. I've gotten wet 0 times. If, that's a big if, Tammy. If you haven't demonstrated the ability to look into the future, you've demonstrated that you can retrodict pattern recognition. I'm just saying, man. I don't need to go through all that work. Sure. It rains a lot in Ohio too. I just don't stand outside in it like a dumbass. I'm not calling you a dumbass. I would just be a stupid person if I stood out in the rain, knowing that I have no way to change my clothes. You and I you and I have different agency, Tony, different wills, different willpower. We take different methods. I've been in this same spot for a year, Tony. It's still a big if, Tammy. You have to be able to prove that you have to be able to prove prediction. The thing happened and then you look back and say, "Oh man, everything was telling me to do that thing." Isn't prediction. It's retrodiction. It's pattern recognition in hindsight. Hindsight's always 20/20, completely unreliable when you're looking forward. Yeah, Tony, I'm not a dumbass. I'm glad that you shared that with me, Harry. Hey, it's been great to hang out with you, Madge. Yeah, it's called ad hoc ergo post hoc reasoning. What is what you're doing, Tammy? Ad hoc ergo post hoc. Got to do what you got to do, Tony. You're saying, "Oh, damn, this thing happened," and then ad hoc, you're looking for things to line up toward it. Sure. What you're doing, Tammy, the I have this really long experience, is you're just narrating a sequence of events. For sure, Tony. Uh, I don't know what deja vu is, Harry. Deja vu is an uncanny experience that you've done this before. So maybe it's a confirmation that you're somewhere that you were fated to be. The glimpses may or may not be anything, Calvin. That's what I'm saying. It might be the universe communicating with you. It might be your brain telling you that you, the pilot, are a fucking idiot and that your car has been acting up for months and you know it. You're just not listening to your brain or your eyeballs. Well, sure, it's uncanny is what it's called, Tammy, but if it happens to you as a child, that's because you utterly lack critical thinking skills, and you being a female probably lack reality testing skills. The glimpses are probably nothing, or they're probably your eyes. Because an engine doesn't just go bad in a day, it goes bad over the course of months. So if you lack reality testing and you lack clocks, you lack a way to measure the passage of time, then the way you measure time is by narrating this long sequence of events so you can memorize the passage of time. No, hunting is not legal for me, and I wouldn't be doing it anyway. You keep getting sleep paralysis because you're not eating well. You probably got high stress. Yeah, Tammy, what you have, what you're going through is called generalized ignorance. You don't know anything about the car, so you don't know how to maintain the car. So your body and your mind are telling you that something isn't right over the course of months, but you don't know what. I guess, Toady, I feed the hares in the woods. I know you memorize things, Tammy. I'm not cold reading you, darling. I'm describing your psychology. I'm telling you how your brain works. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you exactly how your brain works. You have to memorize this sequence of events as a story, or you can't remember the passage of time. The question that you saw asked, Calvin, was how is consciousness only tied to the physical body because of the glimpses? I don't know that it is. I don't know that the consciousness really has anything to do with the physical body. It might, but the glimpses might not be produced in your brain. You have HSM. Isn't that the home shopping network? The glimpses might not be produced in the brain. The glimpses might be received by the brain. We don't know the mechanism by which it works. My signal is very good. It's night, so nobody's using the Verizon wireless towers. Yeah, you'd need evidence they're happening at all, Calvin, and that we have no evidence that they're happening at all. I have a terrible memory, Tammy. No, I'm just using my data. The Verizon wireless towers, like I said. You have basically, yeah, you spend your memory narrating your life, Tammy. I spend my memory understanding why you narrate your life. You have horrible short-term memory because everyone has horrible short-term memory. Take care, OPM. That's right, KJ. The brain can create new memories without new stimuli. That's why faces in your dreams are faces you've seen in real life, even if you don't remember seeing them. Weed can be helpful for many things, Tony. It can also be a detriment to memory. I don't know why you think I'm in Alaska, GK. No, but you got 49 more guesses, I guess. I don't know what that is, Tammy. Deja vu is weird indeed. The certainty that you've done this before and that I know what I'm going to say next and then saying it and knowing what they're going to say next and then it happens and then it passes is uncanny. It feels weird. For sure, Tony. And it's usually totally mundane and doesn't mean anything. What up, Vito? Oh, you see it, man. I'm putting myself to sleep by using my brain to talk about ghosts and extrasensory perception. You know how I do, man. You know how I do. You guys have 57 more. Tent seams? No. My tent doesn't leak. It's got a hole in it that I need to patch, but no, it doesn't leak. Implicit memory? Sure. You admire my implicit memory, Tammy? Involved in the performance of different actions and skills? Why? Because I learn quickly? I acquire skills fast? You good, bud? Shrews are bossy. How did I get the hole? Somebody threw a rock through my tent, Vito. Heard that, Tony. I don't know what my IQ is, GK. It's probably about 80 if 100 is average. Skills are easier to pick up than they are to master, for sure. I wouldn't say that every skill is easy to pick up. Learning the ukulele? Like I could never learn the ukulele. My left hand is too broken. For sure, they're cheap. Yeah, somebody threw a rock through my tent. It's just a little 4-inch gash. I just gotta duct tape it. It's not a big deal. I can't, the notes, the frets are too small. I already know I can't play guitar. I know I can't play ukulele. The frets are too small. The outside of my hand was crushed, and my pinky and ring and middle fingers don't have the dexterity that yours do. Future of America positive? Sure. I mean, they stole one of my lights and they stole my all of my extra clothes, but yeah, it's whatever. This time I had the money to replace it. Last time they stole my shit and threw stuff. No, they can't. You change the size of the fret, you're no longer playing the notes. Genius level performance often depends on a highly developed, automatic, and intuitive command of a specialized skill set, which is characteristic of implicit memory. Sure. I'm saying the space between frets. Like actually fretting the notes is impossible for me on a ukulele. That's what you say, Baru. I mean, if you put the fret anywhere but on the note, you're just playing a flat or a sharp version of the note. You can make the frets themselves taller from the neck. That's not the problem. The problem is that the space between frets is too small and that the fingerboard itself is too small. I played bass. Sure, implement your memory to be creative. Go read my literary work, Tarantia. If you want to see me be creative, go actually read the stuff that's on Patreon. Yeah, I don't have the dexterity that you do. I can't pinch my fingers together that close on command rhythmically. Uh, it's not about how high or low the frets are from the neck. It's about how far the strings are apart, how wide the neck itself is, and how much space there is between the frets. When they're real close together, like below the 12th fret on a bass, I can't use more than two fingers. I can't bend these. I can't bend my pinky more than that. Like I can't. I can do this, but not to a fretboard. This is going behind the fretboard. This is the dexterity that I have in my pinky. This is, I don't know if you can see it, but that's snapping. The knuckle is rolling around inside the joint in order to do that, because the joint is inset under this one, because my hand was crushed when I was a boy. I just don't have the dexterity that you do, and I'm actually really sensitive about it. I had to re-break that knuckle in order to play my bass. I don't like to talk about it. I know I can't play a ukulele because I can't play a guitar. I tried for years to play a guitar. Yeah, I preferred the heavy gauge strings. The light gauge strings were easier to play for a long time, but I preferred heavy gauge strings because I liked the impact on my fingers. Hey, Ice, how you doing? Intensive care extreme, yo. Listening to the chat. How you doing? That's I guess what you're doing. Painful, yeah, but they don't untune. Heard that. 16s are thin for a regular bass. In my head, that's like an E string on a guitar. The strings on a guitar are too small too. I can't get my fingers over them. I can't press them down. They're just too small. Hands too dumb. I tried playing a left hand and holding it feels too weird. It just feels too weird. Trying to teach my left hand to strum after all these years is just not going to happen. Robo headers, they auto tune. That's cool. It feels too weird. My left, the dexterity on the left, well, just the the left side of my body has atrophied a great deal since I'm no longer working. I'm working on it slowly. I don't use my kettlebell as much as I should. I only use it when it's hurting. When my arm is hurting, I'll use my kettlebells, but I'm not trying to build huge muscles. For sure. Yeah, I enjoyed playing the bass, though. I enjoyed that a great deal. I was missing it real bad today. Missing it real bad today, actually. I was missing Finger and Betty in a real way. You can play anything on piano, but I have the same problem. I got a little keyboard. I got a little MIDI keyboard, and left hand is useless. Left hand on the piano is useless. Can't get it to do anything. Respectfully, I'm about to say something disrespectful. So just get it out. Don't know why you bother. Say the hateful shit that you gotta say and then go away. Anything with a bow? That's funny. I've never tried to play anything with a bow. I played trumpet in high school. I always wanted to play drums. I've always wanted a drum set. My last ex bought me a pair of bongos and then bitched every time I played them. I was only allowed to play music when she wasn't in the house, which was annoying. Yeah, the bows are expensive because they're horsehair. They're made with very rare materials. Yeah, all that stuff is made with rare materials, and not a lot of people are buying them. So, like when we were talking about things being made to last, things were just expensive. Yeah, things were just expensive, and they were made with expensive materials. So it wasn't so much they were made to last, it was that they were made with expensive and rare materials. And so they were made to last by the people who own them. It's not about anymore. How many like cellists are there in the world? How many cellists were there in the world? How many viola players like are there actually at any given time alive? That's why that stuff is expensive. How many people actually own cast iron stoves? The percentage of the population is very small. That's why they seem to last, because you have to make it last. Hey, D-Day. Well, right. That's my point. They're crazy expensive because nobody buys them. They're made in it with a very specific kind of craftsmanship, and there are still people alive who make a living repairing them because they have to last. They have to last. Just buying a new one is expensive and inconvenient. Whereas a PlayStation 3 will last until the sun burns out. But whether you treat it with the respect and dignity necessary to keep it to last is entirely up to your habits. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tony. That's why things were made to last. They weren't made to survive. They were made with the expectation that your dumbass would keep them around. Well, it's not that there are folks who can still fix them. It's that the thing being made requires people that can fix it. You're not going to go out and buy a new baby piano every time it runs out of tune, and you're not going to learn how to tune it yourself because it requires special tools. So you're not going to. It's like a bicycle. You're not actually going to buy every single specialized tool to maintain your bicycle. Eventually, you're going to take it to the shop. Well, it closed because it didn't close in order that they could build more student housing. It closed because it couldn't afford the rent because nobody was repairing their consoles, Tony. If they had been moved off the property in order that the property manager could make student housing, hear what I'm saying? They didn't close the entire shopping center. The owner of the shopping center sold the shopping center to the school to make student housing. But if the piano or the console repair company had been profitable, the owner of the mall wouldn't have been inclined to sell at all. It wasn't profitable. That mall made more money as houses than it did having this guy that repaired consoles in it. And if that guy who repaired consoles thought that he could pay rent somewhere else, that business would never have closed. I'm reading, I'm reading John Maynard Keynes, the general theory of, oh, what's the first word? I don't remember the first word, but the second word is interest in money. So John Maynard Keynes' general theory of the economy. Was it greed and was it worth more? It's not your land. Why do you care? Sure, land is expensive where people live. Thank you, Alec. Yeah, it's just weird that you care about the value of the land and stuff. Employment is the first word. The general theory of employment, interest, and money. And the way it works, you see, is having a product doesn't actually generate, having a supply doesn't actually generate a demand. And so we had the supply of repair, but you didn't actually have the demand to repair your shit. Yeah, Tammy, heady is not what I would call it. Full of shit is what I would call it. Ass backwards and upside down is what I would call John Maynard Keynes and everything he's writing in it. Yeah, nothing from when we were kids is profitable because it's old technology that nobody is buying anymore. All that supply just sitting there with no demand. Right, Tony. It's an old economy, an old market that's being propped up for what? Nostalgia? Millennial nostalgia? Gen X nostalgia? For what? Yeah, but you're not going to drop enough money for them to pay rent. You just want to see what's there. You just want to looky loo. You can do that at a Goodwill and see the same stuff. Just garbage from a time that doesn't exist anymore. Collector bait trash. Yeah, but the as far like okay, so comics are still successful. Comics are successful, but it was never a trading market. There was never a collector or trading market for comics. That never manifested. What we're talking about is why Target and Walmart are doing their dynamic pricing and why like Wendy's did dynamic pricing. Well, the price triples because the value just tripled. Price is relative to value. Price is relative to demand. Dynamic pricing is genius, IOU. I wouldn't talk to you for anything less than $1, for example. Who is y'all? Tony, who's getting a new stadium? Thank you for the sub, Adrian. But like collecting comic books or reading comic books, it's still a very nice hobby. I agree. But some books are crazy expensive. A new movie comes out and the price triples. Yeah, because suddenly there's a demand to read the book. There was no demand before. The Bengals are getting a new stadium. That's interesting. Right, KJ. Dynamic pricing is amazing. When they no longer need the money, like when I no longer need the money, I just start talking. I don't know, man. I didn't know that I was in the front office of the Bengals. I didn't know that I was a Brown. Why the fuck are you talking to me like I'm a Brown? I didn't know that wearing a hat made me a shareholder in the Bengals and responsible for this stuff. I have never had a practice facility, Tony. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have never had a practice facility. I'm not in the Brown family. I don't own the Browns. I don't work for the Browns. I don't know the Bengals. The Bengals. The Brown family own the Bengals. I don't work for the Brown family. I don't know the Brown family. I don't work for the Bengals. I don't live in the city of Cincinnati. I don't know one. I don't know anyone from the city of Cincinnati. Yeah, I know, but you keep saying y'all like I'm like you. You're using the collective you like it's something I did. I had no part in it. I don't know these people. I've never met any of them. Do you think I've got billions of dollars sitting around? That I live in this tent because I'm just some I'm actually a football executive, but what I would rather do is live in a tent? The hell are you talking about, man? Y'all. I had nothing to do with it. I just wear a hat. Yeah, why am I making such terrible decisions in the front office, KJ wants to know. It's not anything I did. Like, imagine if I just blamed you for everything that went wrong in the city that you live in. Yeah, I'm a football executive who enjoys high performance art. Look, that is, and we recently lost him, but Jim Irsay, that's you could describe Jim Irsay as a football executive who liked high performance art. R.I.P. Jim Irsay. I'm just saying, man. Like, just imagine if I talked to you that way. Like, I found out where you live, and then I just started criticizing the place you live like you did it. Imagine how microaggressive you would find that, and how quickly it would get old. Well, Jim Irsay is a recently dead man who used to just hand people $100 bills because he hated all the money that he had. So maybe not fuck that guy. Maybe not. Maybe those are the kind of people that we want around. Just because I also played football, but I'm not talking to you like the city you live in is your fault. Okay, yeah, but like, what if I blamed you for a Maryland police brutality? And I said, why did you beat up that black guy? How quickly would that get old to you? Another casualty to Bigfoot? I guess I took too much meth. I've never seen this stuff before, but I guess I took too much. Like, I get it. You're a masshole. No, you're not from Massachusetts. I get it. I get it. I'm just like, I'm running with the bit. You said it's my fault. I'm just asking you why. What do you really think I work for these people? Just going with the bit. I didn't have anything to do with it, man. I just bought a fucking hat. Yeah, I know. I said it. I caught myself. I get it. I get it. You're from Maryland. You're from New England. You're tough. You're tough. I get it. Don't tread on me. I get it. But I didn't fucking do it. I just bought a hat. I know. I don't know. I know you're in New England. I'm just being a dumbass. I'm giving you an opportunity to realize I'm fucking with you. I'm just playing back in the only way that I can. Yeah, Maryland is up there somewhere. That's kind of what I'm saying. You got one of those states that's up that way somewhere. I get it. You guys are all tough. I get it. New England, you're northeastern. You got your Stephen King and your weird magic shit. I know. No, New England like the no, not Boston. New England like the general region. The whole Northeast is called New England by everybody but you guys. You know that, right? All of those 52 colonies that are up there. Dontari Poe, is that who you're talking about? That can't be who you're talking about. It's been a long time since I've looked at these people's names, man. I kind of checked out on last season. Yeah, see, you guys call yourself Mid-Atlantic. Everywhere outside of there just calls the whole area New England. You guys are all I love that you guys don't know this until you come to like Ohio or California or North Carolina and we call Maryland New England and you're like, the fuck, the fuck, no, it's not. That's funny to me. Sorry, I'll stop. I'll stop. I'm not making fun of you. Not at all. I'm very tired. This is my wind down. For sure. I hear you, Tony. I hear you. But Maryland counts as New England to everybody outside of Maryland. I hear you. I do. I do hear you. Yeah, everything above Virginia is New England. That's what I'm saying. It's not you, it's us. That's why I'm laughing. We're probably wrong, but it's funny because you're gonna fight us because the Patriots are in New England. I get it. I do. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The yes, Ham. The whole East Coast is the same. The whole East Coast, from north to south, Mason-Dixon line irrelevant. When you live west of it, all of them are fucking batshit crazy. Every, every one of the 13 colonies, the original 13s. Yeah, no, I have never been to Maryland, Tony. I'm having a really fun time busting Tony's balls a little bit. Yeah, the Mason-Dixon line is totally irrelevant to the sea, the East Coast. Everybody over there is batshit crazy. I grew up in North Carolina, just for everybody knows, and I'm in Ohio now. No, I've never been there, Tony. No, I'm telling you, it's us. It's not you. I understand. I understand that and why you're sensitive. That's why I did exactly what I did. I get it. I get it. Baltimore hates everybody else in the Northeast. I hope you do, Tony, actually. I hope you do. Everybody in Baltimore, everybody in Maryland's going to be pissed off. Oh, man. How I'm not a Panthers fan. I was a Dolphins fan before the Panthers existed, I owe you. Oh, man. I know, Tony. I know, man. I just decided to do the one thing that would be like talking shit to the Ravens to you because I don't want to talk shit about the Ravens, but I knew I could get you going about your state. And so I did. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad you're defending your state. Yes, I appreciate that you're not from Baltimore as well, Tony. Hey, welcome back, Tammy. Uh, my brother was a Panthers fan, though. I owe you. I got to watch a Dolphins game in their stadium in like '99 or '98. It would have been '99. It was Marina's final season. That was cool. Heard that. Cowboys fan. You're a Cowboys fan now, but you were a Ravens fan when you were a kid, and that's why you have opinions about Ohio ball. I get it. I get it. I get it. I just wanted to divert something that I'm not listening to System of a Down at the moment. No, that's too high energy for sleep time. Thank you for understanding. I was playing along the only way that I could, Tony. I like you a great deal. It's great when you come around. The brain damage. There were no Ravens, understood. Violent Pornography is a great song. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Chupapi. I'm talking shit with a Maryland native who's not in Baltimore and loves the Cowboys. So y'all hate us because you hate us. Hey, I'm concerned about Dak. I don't know if you saw my video about the game. I'm concerned about Dak, Tony. I haven't watched. You're right about everything you're saying. I'm curious what you think about this. Real talk for a second with me. Real talk. I haven't watched a lot of Dak the last 3 years. Does everything he throw die off at the sidelines? Can he get the ball to the perimeter, or was that just last night? Because he couldn't get anything to the perimeter of the defense last night. It really started to worry me. See, I have the opposite impression that you do. The defense adjusted in the second half. Yeah. I'm concerned that this might be Dak's final season as a Cowboy. If he can't get he couldn't get anything. Romo would have won that game 34-24. That game would have ended up. They would have beat the brakes off the Eagles the way they were playing on Thursday. You're a big Cowboys fan, Drew. Heard that. Maybe you can tell me. Has Dak always thrown ducks that die off to the perimeter of the defense when he's throwing to the sidelines? Everything he threw last night was short and late. Basically, KJ, the Cowboys, and until this offseason, that's how Jerry's run his team is like the Yankees too. Well, they've got the draft picks to tank for Archie, Tony. They're not going to get Archie next year. They're going to get Archie the following season. Well, okay, so you guys aren't engaging me on Dak's arm strength. I don't watch a lot of Dak play. I guess I just have to go watch the last few weeks of Dak last year and make a video about it. Because I think his arm is done. He couldn't get anything to the perimeter. His flow, they always fade and die like that at the end of his throws. He wasn't stepping into anything. He doesn't push off with his right leg. His ball dies at the end of the throw. It you understand? It nosedives real bad at the end of his throws. And he doesn't push off with his right leg ever. Is that the leg he broke? His right? Did he break his right leg? Well, this is year 10. Year 10 is when, if somebody's going to have a massive die off in their career, it's at age 33. He's age 33. Those from the hip always had. He never drives off the knee. He's never driven off his knees. I don't watch a lot of Dak play. I preferred Romo. I've never liked Dak. And when I've tuned in for the Cowboys, it's because their backup is in. Sorry. The last decade, I've just never liked to watch Dak play. He was too reckless when he was young, and now I'm seeing that he just never pushes off that back leg. You guys are in trouble this season. If you can't get the ball to the perimeter, you guys are in trouble. Because you've got the weapons on the outside. They all looked good. Defense got good in 2026. The thing is, if you want Archie, you got to wait till 2027. He's not coming out this year. Dad already said, Arch Manning already said he's not coming out. He's got a weird throwing motion. Okay, thank you guys for helping me with that. Yeah, Romo ended his career with arm strength. He had just fucked that collarbone too many times. He could still hurl it. Dak has always had a flutter ball. Okay. The Packers might be scary good if Micah Parsons contributes. Pick Fiend. Yeah, for sure. Romo believed in his arm strength. And the rules favored corners at the time. I don't know rosters that well, Sans. If he can contribute, Tony, if he can contribute, the Packers are going to be scary good. Because the Packers are always good when they've got a pass rush. But if he's hurt, if he's limping, if he's even 85%, if he's not contributing, then the Cowboys unequivocally made the right move. That might be the first time in his career Jerry's let a guy walk when he was in pain. I don't like Green Bay either. I don't like Love. Sorry, bud. I just Love he's a remarkably average quarterback. I don't like Trevor Lawrence either, though. He throws the most spectacular interceptions I've ever seen. J.P. Wilson, is he in quarterback? Is he in college, KJ? J.P. Wilson? I don't know that. I don't recognize that name. Tua or Law? What does that mean, Sans? I fucking hate watching Tua play. The stadium is so old, Tony. It does want to hurt you. Love his baggage? Oh, the quarterback Love. I don't know about the brains thing, the concussions thing. He shouldn't have retired, but he's not good enough to be a starter. He should be a backup. Jordan Love, thank you, Io. I couldn't get there. Well, I have CTE, and I can tell you that that's the least of his worries. He's just not good enough. Oh, heard that, KJ. Okay. You know I don't watch enough college ball to know who you're talking about, so thank you for indulging me. Concussions are a lot better than they used to be, Tony. Joe Burrow, I think if they can protect him, that team, that he is incredible. But I genuinely am terrified that I'm going to watch him like I watched Marino. Never get another shot at a Super Bowl. Burrow's amazing to watch play. He's so smart. Whether he's protected or not, we'll see. I know that, Tony. I know that they used to try to kill Ben, literally kill him like they did with Favre toward the end of his career. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Travis Kelce, I think that his effort really bothers me, but when he decides to give an effort, he can break off 45-yard touchdowns where he's wide the fuck open in the deep right part of the field. I don't know what they call that. The turkey hole. A lot of those guys, it's impressive they are able to stand upright, Tony. Take care, KJ. Thanks for all your attention today, buddy, and thank you for your dedication to the Discord. It really does me a lot of good in my heart. I never liked Favre. I never liked Favre's game. I never liked his personality, and I never liked his game. Never once. I was talking. No, I've never been to Cincinnati. I went to Cincinnati to watch Tool once. That's the only time I've ever been in the city of Cincinnati. I went to watch My Chemical Romance in Cleveland once. That's the only time I've ever been to Cleveland. No, I've never been to the stadium. I'm only very recently a Bengals fan. Oh, that's cool, Tony. That's cool. That's legitimately cool. Oh wait, I went to a Bengals game in high school. I watched a throwaway Bengals game against the Buccaneers. It was the weirdest football game I've ever watched. There were like 3 punt returns and an interception return. There were more special, or no, not an interception, kickoff return. There were more special teams points scored in that game than I've ever seen in an NFL game in my life. You wouldn't believe me. We'd have to go look for it. It was some random throwaway Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. You'd be able to find which one because of the way the schedule works. It was totally insane to watch. I don't know what black fatigue is. You want to talk to me about it, Big Ballin? I don't know what that is. I mean, these are legacy teams we're talking about, Tony. We're talking about when we're talking about the Bengals and the Browns, we're talking about legacy teams, and a lot of the legacy teams have shit stadiums because they're not good. They haven't been good for a long time. Like the Bears have a shit stadium, legacy team. We were talking about the Packers and their legacy stadium that they recently updated. You see what I'm saying? Um, the the Cowboys are a legacy team, but Jerry Jones is different. That stadium is old now, though. It is outdated now. Um, the Vikings had to recently rebuild. The Buccaneers, I think, recently remodeled. The Dolphins recently remodeled. All these old teams tend to have shitty stadiums. No. Bengals and Browns fans tend to commiserate because their teams both suck. They hate the Steelers and loathe the Ravens. Bengals and Browns fans tend to commiserate. They tend to root for one another's teams. And I've never heard a Browns fan say a bad word about Joe Burrow ever. Isn't it crazy? It's not quite 20 years. It's not quite 20 years. It might be closer to 15, but that stadium is old now. It's hard to believe that giant screen. The Brown family, yeah, the Brown family is involved in the creation of both teams, yeah. Um, but the Browns are named after Jim Brown, weirdly enough. Yeah, the Cleveland Jim Browns. Yeah, it was the largest TV in the world at the time, and now it's a weird, outdated piece of junk that gets in the way of punts and kickoffs. It's weird. It's not weird. It's uncanny how fast time moves in a real way. Paul Brown looked like a mean dude back in the day. I haven't studied his film. I was a Dolphins fan until very recently. I was a dedicated Dolphins fan until very recently. I had an ex who was into all that old shit, but it bored me pretty quick. Mhm. He hoped the Steelers lose so Landry's record is safe. That's funny. I I don't want to think about the Steelers. Not just between you and me. I stopped being a Dolphins fan because I don't like Mike McDaniel. I don't like the owner. I don't like the general manager. And I fucking hate watching Tua Tagovailoa play football. So I just couldn't fucking take it. I couldn't fucking take it anymore. I just couldn't fucking take it. Yeah, but you've never had Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, and the string of general managers that the Dolphins have had. And you don't have you have Jerry Jones. Fine. You don't have fucking Stephen Ross, colossal asshole, public racist. Fine, you have Jerry Jones sells cheerleader peepholes. Fine. At least he has a Super Bowl to his name, and at least his team is competitive and has never hired Mike McDaniel. Fair enough. The Red Sox aren't any good. I don't follow baseball. They've been bad for a while. I don't know anything about baseball. I know Shohei Ohtani is pretty cool. That's all I know. That's all I care to know. You don't have to give me the history of baseball. I don't want to know it. I'm going to let it run right off my memory. Baseball is so intensely boring. Baseball was intensely boring when we were playing it in the backyard. It was so intensely boring. The only fun thing was when somebody accidentally hit the ball through a window. Accidentally. Oh, wait a minute. The Ravens are good. The Ravens have won Super Bowls in recent memory, too. What are you talking about? Damn, I cut my eyebrow right there at some point during the day. Hurts. Good night, Angela. Thank you for your compliment. Your dad bought the Darth Maul colas, John? I had a friend. I haven't seen him in a while. Will was real all about those. Stolen goods? Why stolen? The owner didn't steal them. He just moved them. You have weird ideas about ownership. I gotta look at the time because I don't. Yeah, you guys got 10 minutes with me. I don't want to run past midnight. I do want to be able to wake up in the morning and um, treat tomorrow with dignity and respect. Never forgave Ursay for relocating the Colts. You didn't steal them though. It was a perfectly legal transaction. Perfectly legal. The owner wanted to leave. The Baltimore Colts were good. The There were lots of teams that played in Baltimore. I don't know that they stole them though. They may have acquired them. Hey, have a good night, Rachel. Thank you for hanging with me. Head to bed. Wait, you're heading to bed? Damn, girl. 6 a.m. Please be well. Take care of yourself, Rachel. Thank you for all your time and attention today. They're not stolen though. They're legally and lawfully acquired. Yeah, a lot of teams have bounced through Baltimore. A lot of teams bounce through LA too. It's hard to keep teams in those cities. It's hard to get you motherfuckers to actually go to the games. You got too much other shit to do. It's like St. Louis. It's hard to get people to go to those games. See it with the stealing. I don't think it was stolen. Tony, I just don't think it was stolen, buddy. But I hear you. My team has never relocated. Miami was talking about relocating to London for a while. Uh, Stephen Ross was flirting with that publicly for a while. You still have a championship indoor soccer team? That's cool. This isn't about being impatient. This is my face just legitimately itches. A lot of people will do this when they're impatient, like, oh, I want this conversation to end. I've given you a time limit. We're good. There's talks about another hockey team. Yeah, there's too much shit to do in Baltimore. It's too hard to sell tickets to all that stuff. And then I'm thinking in terms of Keynesian economics, who's got the job? Who's got the job where they can go and see a football game every weekend and a basketball game every weekend and then go catch baseball in the middle of the week? Who's got $1,000 of just fun money for just in tickets laying around anymore? Nobody has $1,000 in fun money anymore. Oh, Mexico City and Sao Paulo are happening a lot sooner than you think. It will. It'll work. It works just fine for FIFA. FIFA plays internationally just fine. Oh, no, Tony, I'm not saying that you can't do it. Your team is what do I listen to when I'm writing? It depends, Castle. It depends on what the scene is. But I'll either listen to Ravel's opera. I listen to Ravel's opera Daphnis at Chloe, or I listen to instrumental metal. Yeah, tickets are expensive, man. But yeah, the Ravens sell out because they're gonna win. You know they're gonna win at home. Well, I'm not saying that they're going to use the FIFA model. I'm saying it worked, and it still works for FIFA. Hi, Magic. Welcome back. Hopefully your grandmother's doing better. Whatever insane thing you shared with me. Well, nobody's gonna tell us what to do with our grass. Take care, Abs. Well, sure. We tell the non. I mean, we bitched about Mexico's grass all year last year. They bitched about Mexico's grass in the Sao Paulo presentation uh, last night. Hello, AP. I'm only going to be here for maybe 5 or 10 more minutes, but I'm here. How are you doing? Make sure you like and subscribe so you can catch me in the morning, right? You know how it goes. It's not disrespectful to you as a franchise. You're silly, Tony. You care about things that have nothing to do with anything. Yeah, well, we tell these other stadiums. The NFL tells the stadiums that we visit when we go anywhere how we want the grass. The grass is integral to the sport. That's why we were talking about Lambeau and the Windy City, Chicago. That's why we were talking about their stadiums. The grass is integral. Yeah, the Giants have to do theirs too. The LA stadium has this whole setup where they have like 3 or 4 different kinds of grass for the kind of game they want to play. It's pretty cool. The grass technologies are pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a part of the game. Yeah, it's a part of the game. And if FIFA wants the grass to be a quarter of an inch shorter than the NFL likes it, the NFL rented that stadium out to FIFA. Cut the fucking grass. It'll grow back. I promise. Oh yeah, that the Soldier Field is rough. They are getting a new stadium though. I'm watching that with great interest because moving it to Arlington is going to be like Baltimore. It's going to make Chicago an interesting city to visit. Chicago now is an interesting city to visit on the merit of it being a legacy American city from the early 20th century, but that's no reason to visit a city anymore. It's too expensive to just go, this was cool in 1920. Actually, 1890. It's the 1890 World Fair that people go there to fucking looky-loo. So the 19th century is the last time Chicago was cool. What up, Sophia? I don't know what the maroon issue is. Unless you mean the rule, the Rooney rule. I don't know about great, you Magic, but I appreciate the compliment. I'm doing great, Sophia. Some of my streams, Magic, are more shit shows than other. This one is not a shit show. My guy, Alec he figured out how to manipulate me into talking, and now I'm just talking about whatever, and nobody's annoyed me yet. You're silly, Tony. I don't even know what that one's talking about. uh, what does I don't know what that means. Magic, my kind at least. Thank you, Tony. You've caught the streams where I didn't get emotional. And usually when you roll in, there's I don't have one-on-one time with you, so this has been a good stream. Hi, Strange Snaps. That says Strange Snaps. I will let just everybody know I got 3 minutes. I'm not watching the clock, but I'm watching the clock. When it's time, one thing that you don't know about Shaggy, because you've never worked with Shaggy, is when he's decided that it is time to get off the clock, I get all the way the fuck off the clock. Huh? I'm going to sleep, Sophia. I'm just gonna turn off my camera and lay down. No, I don't remember you, Strange Snaps. Sorry, bud. I'm tired. It's almost midnight. Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are gonna be as good as I thought. It's almost midnight, Sophia. I just said that, babe. I have 1 more minute. Yeah. Hey, take care, Magic. Make sure you hit that like button, that sub. Catch me tomorrow. I'm gonna. I'll do a reading. I'll do a little bit of a reading in the morning. I'll do a short book. Why are you sorry, Sophia? Uh, and I was just busting your balls, darling. You don't actually need to be sorry. You do know I'm sensitive to that, but I wouldn't have said it if I were annoyed by you doing it. Um, Yeah, that's kind of what I was telling you earlier, Tony, is that you shouldn't worry about the Cowboys defense. They got a ton of pressure on Jalen Hurts after the first half. The first half of games don't count. I don't watch anything that happens in the first half. The second half is the only thing that matters. I'm not worried about it, Sophia. It is hard to get two in a row, but if let's just hope I'm wrong about Dak. If Dak doesn't figure out how to drive into his throws and get the ball to the perimeter, you're in trouble this season. But if he does, um, you could win that division, and I mean that. But it's probably that kid, Jaden, with Washington. It's probably his to lose. Love you too, Sophia. Thank you for rolling by. And I see you have a new PFP. We can talk about that tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. Um, whether you're a first or second half team, I think is irrelevant in week one. New head coach, new coaching staff, but uh, you did you that's the thing is you did you went score for score with them in the first half, but the second half is when the game was played, and you had 3 drives in a row where you could have won that game, the Cowboys, and Dak just couldn't get it done. They gave up. Yeah, watch my video on this. But what's his name? Schottenheimer gave up after the fumble. If they had just kept running the ball after the fumble in the third quarter, they would have won that game 10 or 14 points. But Schottenheimer, in my opinion, Schottenheimer took the teaching moment. Okay, my friends, it is time. I didn't mean to make $100. I just wanted to turn my camera on. So if we get the W's in chat and the W or the thank you in the comments for Mr. S, actually makes these put me to sleep streams possible. I would usually be doing a video game, but I'm too tired to focus on the game and read. I thought I was going to be too tired to end up having this conversation with Tony. But actually, my social battery recharges the opposite way of yours. My social battery recharges by talking to people. So, thank you for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for charging my social battery so that I can end what was a very frustrating and upsetting day for me in a positive way. Spent a lot of money, so frustrating and stressful rather than upsetting. I mean upsetting to mean agitated, like you would do with an etch a sketch. Yeah, thanks for talking to me, Tony, for sure. And then just make sure that we get in the comments that we get thank yous for Mr. S and for Alec, and now for Rach, because between the two of them, I made $105 tonight that I wasn't anticipating making. This program is already paid for, so I don't come here expecting to make a single dollar. So thank you to everyone who showed up. Thank you to everyone who tipped. Thank you to everyone who comments into the future. I'm just going to pre-thank you right now. Thank you for doing that. It means a lot to me. YouTube really cares about that now that I'm going to cross 4,000 watch hours any day now. So now that I'm doing that and I'm crossing all of these milestones, if I have to push you to do anything, it's continue doing the exact things you've been doing. Thank you. Check out the Patreon. That's through, you can find the link in the profile, my description, whatever. Check out the Patreon. Get the Discord link. I send out a group email from my Patreon every morning when I go live. Every time I go live, I send it out on the Patreon and I put the link in the main chat on the Discord. So if you're not there, you don't know I'm here, and you're gonna miss something. The more of these I do, the more people who show up within the first several minutes, the less likely I am to have prepared material. And the more likely it is for the prepared material to be a shared experience. So 30 seems to be my average on videos now, and that is plus 30 more than I ever got on my average videos before the month of July. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, even if it seems like I'm getting really frustrated with you. It's not you, it's me. Whenever, wherever you are, I hope this finds you well, and I hope this leaves you well. Hope it leaves you better. Take care.